Hello, friends. Today we will meet a heroine who led an army. Joan of Arc was a young peasant girl who led the French army to victory during the 100 Years' War. Declared a saint centuries later, her courage inspired generations. Joan was born in 1412 in a small village in France. She spent her days tending sheep and praying. But Joan was different from other shepherdesses. She believed that God had chosen her for a special mission. When she was 13, Joan heard voices in her head telling her to drive the English invaders out of France. At first, Joan's parents and the church authorities dismissed her claims, but Joan was persistent. And when the voices told her to go to the king and tell him to come see her, they couldn't resist her pleas. The king was skeptical at first, but Joan insisted that she was the one true way to save France. She told the king that God had given her a secret plan to win the war. She promised that with his help, they would drive the English out of France and make her a national hero. Impressed by her confidence, the king agreed to meet with Joan. When Joan entered the king's court, all eyes turned to her. She was dressed in a simple peasant dress, but she carried herself like a queen. Joan told the king that God had sent her to save France and asked for his support in her mission. Moved by her words, the king agreed to help her and gave her an army. Joan led the French army to several victories, most notably at the Battle of Orleans. Her troops were outnumbered, but they fought bravely, and Joan's inspirational presence helped them prevail. After the battle, Joan continued to lead the French army until she was captured by the English. They sold her to the Duke of Burgundy, who imprisoned her in a tower. Though Joan was only 19 years old when she was captured, she had already become a legend. The English tried to break her spirit, but she never gave up hope. She knew that her mission was not yet over. After 4 years in prison, Joan was finally released, and she returned to France a hero. She continued to fight for the French until she was killed in battle at the age of 30. Many years later, Joan of Arc was made a saint. People still remember her bravery, and they tell her story to inspire others to be courageous in the face of danger. And that's all for today. See you next time.